Hey, this is Buentello. You're watching T7Live.com. The reason I started fighting, getting into MMA, it's in my blood, it's my life, it's what I've been doing, and it's the first time to beat somebody up and not go to jail. I was a knucklehead, got into some stupid stuff, but I got into Taekwondo. Actually, a good friend of mine, Eddie Nimco, got me into Taekwondo. Started doing that for about 2 years, and started doing tournaments, getting into it, and that's when these pancreation style fights started getting involved in Amarillo, and that's when I went to Steve Nelson at USWF, and hey, I want to do it, and 2 weeks later, trained a little bit, got right into it, knocked the guy out in the first round. I lost 3 fights in a row. I'm like, yeah, I can't be doing this fight stuff. I'm getting beat by the stupidest people. I'm training in my garage. I can't do this. And I went home after my last fight. Got a phone call. There's a lady named Helen Miller. She contacted me. She said, hey, you have a good opportunity. You have the heart. I see good stuff out of you. Do you still want to fight? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. She goes, well, if I manage you, be your manager instead of taking these stupid fights by last minute, I'll manage you, get you the good fights, and get you on top of where you want to be. I'm like, okay. She goes, but you have to leave Texas and move out to California. I'm like, all right. I can't do that. I just had a baby born. I said, I can't do that. My wife, Stacy, goes, what do you mean you're just going to stay here? I said, well, I can't leave you guys here. She's like, if you don't walk out that door and move to California and start training, I'm going to leave you. I'm like, why are you going to leave me? She's like, well, the reason I'm not going to leave you is because if you go and you do that, if you don't go and do that 5 years from now, you're going to blame me for not reaching your dream, to not doing what you want to do, is fight. So here I am. I went, made the sacrifice, left home, packed my stuff in our used car, drove all the way to California, started training. It's 6 years ago. Probably my biggest fight to date that I enjoy the most. When I first started fighting, I set a dream. I set a goal that I'd be fighting in the Ultimate Fighting Challenge, be in the UFC. That's where I wanted to fight at. So, I thought I could be in there in 6 months, 7 months, whatever, and started fighting all these little smaller shows. Thought I was a tough guy, but I just kept on sticking to it, and then 8 years later, in Super Saturday, UFC 51, I knocked out Justin Riley, and I was happy it can be. I was like, this is my dream. I live my dream. So Dana White asked me, what's next? What are you gonna do next? I'm like, done. This is what I wanted to do. And the whole thing, it wasn't to win the world title. It wasn't to win or lose. It was just to be invited into the UFC. It didn't matter if I walked in there, fell and tripped, tapped a mat, the fight was done. But I walked away, got a superb knockout of the night, done. I'm ready to go home and get my life back together because this whole tragedy, struggle, trying to make it to a dream. That was my dream, was to fight in the UFC. This is all icing on the cake. Dana White goes, you're going to be done? You're just going to quit fighting? I'm like, yeah, done. Dana White goes, well, we can pay you a little better to keep fighting. I'm like, show me the paperwork, let's do this.